I'm not going to look any better than I do now. So
We are live. I cannot take you anywhere, girl.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
My goodness. Look at those poor youths right there, being corrupted by the word of Satan.
I have a feeling we're going to argue about this today.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be destroyed. I can only hope that in the future you will find a way to forgive me.
I can only hope in the future you'll find a way to forgive me, because I feel like you and I are going to. It's obviously going to turn into anyway a talk that we always end up talking about. So.
No, we'll just avoid religion.
How can you avoid religion when we're literally talking about religion? Please, can somebody give me that answer? Because that doesn't seem right. Anyhow. You're not going to believe me when I say this. I think the music's a little too loud.
Too loud?
Yeah.
Too loud, really? Okay.
I know. I never say that. I'm usually like, turn it up.
Okay, I turned it. What about now?
Turn it up, yo. No, it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Spookiness, spooky, scary.
Spooky, scary skeletons creeping down your spine. Sorry.
You said earlier you were not in a Halloween spirit, but it seems like you are.
It's not that I'm not in the Halloween spirit. Listen, I'm always in the Halloween spirit. This is literally my favorite time of the year. The only problem is that I think I'm going to end up working, and which is fine.
Well, Halloween can be fun when you work. It depends. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on the work environment.
Oh, absolutely. Although I do have to admit that my costumes and bartending don't really go well together, because I tend to wear glitter. And then there's glitter all over the bar, and they want to murder me. So,
well,
but I'm also like, I don't know what I want to be this year.
It'll come to you. The best.
True.
The best gifts come at 3 days before the event.
Yeah, but then I don't have time to make the costume. I tend to make my own costumes.
Right. I saw that Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that was last year. And I loved that one. I still actually have that dress. I could do that one again, to be completely honest, because I didn't go to any parties. So if I get to go to parties this year, I might as well, right?
No. You know what? I feel like the true lover of Halloween is some loser sitting in their mom's basement, no friends, dressed up on Halloween.
I mean, I am that loser. I've totally done that.
I do that every year. Looking at a list of the people they're going to murder eventually.
I cannot say that I do that every year.
Oh.
I hope I'm not on that list, though.
Well, then we are cut from different cloths, madam.
I guess so. I mean, I didn't know that there were lists of people that we wanted to kill.
You don't make lists?
Not of people I want to kill. That's a paper trail I don't want.
Well, I mean, then how do you keep track?
It's in my head. Trust
me.
There
you go. Okay, I forgot you got that great memory.
I have a great memory. Yes, 100%. 100%.
100%. How you?
I'm getting there.
We are starting in just a moment for all our fans out there. Yes.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow indeed.
Oh, are we meowing?
I meow sometimes. What are you talking about?
I meow all the time. Listen, when you have a sister that goes by the name Cat, trust me, we meow a lot.
You meow at her all the time?
All the time. We just meow at each other.
And so I'm ready to go whenever you're ready. I'm ready to go.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Welcome to Mothership Monday. I am the Fat Mantis, and I am here with
Lainey O.
Lainey O. Welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. Shout out to our chat right now. Shell and Iceboxer says, Mantis, whip out that yellow Daredevil costume again. Perfect timing. Yeah, I actually made the year that Sandy, Hurricane Sandy hit New York. I actually made a yellow Daredevil costume. I made it myself. It was a lot of fun.
That's okay. I think that my favorite costume that I ever made was my Mad Hatter costume.
Mm-hmm.
I made the hat, I made the wig, I made literally like from head to toe, I made basically everything. And then the year after that, I was Jigsaw, and I had like prosthetics on my cheek and everything. That was a pretty cool costume too. Yeah.
Demon Omega says, hello from the graveyard and the Howl and Growl Paranormal. Hello, Demon.
Hello.
Funny thing, I got a couple of Satanists here with me. Oh, well, then I'm sure they're going to be very offended. As
by
I know
you,
is.
By you.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to. It's my intention. I'm preemptively apologizing to Lainey for the ass whooping of a debate we're about to have.
Oh, we're not about to have you're about to have an ass whooping, not me. You can.
Well, okay. Savvy says, hi, how you doing? Oh, we're living that dream. Matt says, let's start the stream. Meow. Hail to the chat. What up, Mad Cat? Matt Cat is another cat person. So, he's Matt Cat. So we should meow at him more often.
We should meow at him more often.
I don't wear costumes. I'm already scary enough to Savvy.
Savvy, you stop that. You are not scary. Mikey, hello. Are we hydrating?
Mizzle, how are you, brother? Oh, I've been so dehydrated lately. It's pathetic.
That's not good.
But that has nothing to do with what's going on today. We need to get right into it. We are Mothership Monday. We talk about the occult, the paranormal, everything strange. We don't necessarily answer questions, but we just talk about it. It's an open discussion, and we're going to have a lively but friendly one. Let's all be respectful to our different opinions. And this is the Fat Mantis reminding you to please like this video, subscribe to this channel, keep tuning in to Mothership Mondays every Monday at 6:15-ish Eastern.
Don't forget the ish.
The ish is very important. That's very important about being a streamer.
Absolutely. There's always that ish involved in streaming.
Because we're a force of nature, and we just, you never know what's going to happen.
Facts. Oh, facts.
And like he says, what kind of Satanism? So I did all my research, particularly on, Anton LaVey's life and times, and his Church of Satan. But of course, there's different kinds. A real devil worshiper would say they hate that church, and so of course, like any good religion, there's obviously going to be arguments about the proper way to do it. But Lane, how are you doing?
Me, I can't complain. I'm fantastic. It's been a week, but I'm happy to be here on Mothership Monday.
Yeah, it's always great. It's always good. Yeah, it has been a week. Like he says, spicy atheism with the tenets of the Gothi brothers. Yes. So we're gonna get into all the details in just a moment, Mikey can't wait to sink his teeth into the subject matter.
I'm loving it.
I ain't being friendly. Satan can suck it. All right, star for that one.
We now know who all the religious people are in here.
Not necessarily religion, which we'll explain why it's not. You don't have to be religious to dislike the Church of Satan.
Okay.
But so Lainey.
Yes.
And I could have sworn I've heard you say in the past
that I want to be a Satanist.
Well, no, that you said it was about. I never heard you say that. I've heard you say that you believe that it's a valid religion. Is this true?
I do believe it's a valid religion. Yes, I do.
Okay. So, would you like to talk about your thoughts, your general thoughts, or experiences? Maybe you have an experience.
I don't have any experiences, but I do believe that, today's Satanism is something that. Oh, hello, Shellen, and thank you so much.
Ciao, Lynn. Thank you for the bits, brother. So much love. That means a lot to me, man.
Sorry, I got distracted by the bits.
Well, Mikey, you never apologize. You never apologize here on Mothership Monday.
Why are we apologizing already? What?
No, there's no apologies. It's all good. But so, Lainey, tell us your thoughts.
Why I think that Satanism is a valid religion.
Or what's your experience with it? What do you believe it to be? What is it to you? Why would you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that today's Satanism is more of an atheistic church that, wants to basically break down the Christianity church, the Christian church. Absolutely. Basically what they're saying is that Christians believe in certain things rather than the whole commitment and the whole scheme of religion. And I have to agree with them. And I think that that's why I do tend to associate myself with the Satanic Church.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What? So here's what I'm saying. The first question I have to address what you're bringing up is why is it that people, people of the Church of Satan get angry at us when we accuse them of being devil worshippers, and they're like, we don't worship Satan. We just wait. Hold on, I'm not finished. Oh. We don't worship Satan, but we just attend the Church of Satan. So us normies get it confused that you worship Satan when you call yourselves the Church of Satan. Do you have anything to comment on this phenomenon?
So the Church of Satan is technically different from the temple of the
I'm asking about the stupidity of naming yourself that, if that's not what you're about. What kind of is that not a brain dead maneuver?
I mean, I understand that, yes, we would want to, normies would want to think that, yeah, these are people who worship Satan, think that Satan is real.
Good.
But that's not necessarily what the religion is about. It's basically them saying we're the opposite. We're opposing you. We oppose God. We oppose everything that has already been put into place. We oppose the hatred that Christianity has put into some of the world. And I'm not sitting here and trying to knock Christianity, because I feel like you always
you already took a swipe at it. I just know that I have the moral high ground, because the Church of Satan, literally Anton LaVey during his lifetime would charge people to become priests, and he would charge them in classes. Because he's like, that's what any good Satanist would do. You make sure to get.
But here's my thing. So wait a minute. Are you
like, how is that a righteous behavior to charge people to become to join the priesthood?
Well, what do you think you're doing when you're putting your money in those little ballots? They're charging you to go to church. They might not
pay a dime when I go to church. Right. It's optional. It's an optional.
It's optional. For real. Oh, Lainey, don't let the devil get a foothold. I'm not a Satanist, guys. I'm really not a Satanist.
Matt says Christian's gonna Christian and Satan's gonna suck it.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is not a place for me to attack the tenets of the religion you sort of kind of maybe want to have joined at one point in your life but never had the courage to.
Listen, when women are being attacked at the moment and that religion protects us, yeah, it sounds like a really good religion to join.
Well, I'm saying any here's what I'm saying. Ever basically the concept is, because we exist on the lowest common denominator, we'll have one good thing and point out this one good thing to attract members.
Okay, but wait a minute. How is it? Hold on, time out. So Satanism basically is sitting there and saying, be good to thy man. Okay, I come first. It does not.
It does not say that. It does not say be good to your good man.
It does, though. It really does. Yeah. It basically tells you to accept all.
It
but
says
you want to dive in
at your highest thing. And actually, you know what? I'll challenge you right now. I was going to wait for this to be the zinger at the end. But can you name any famous Satanist who has done things for other people or the world in like a big scale that isn't evil.
A lot of Satanists though aren't out.
Who are name them? Name the people who do these great facts. Name
I can't name a Satanist that has done good because a lot of them aren't out. They're not just sitting there and saying, I'm a Satanist. Like,
I mean, they should. I mean, a lot of people do that. But actual Satanists.
They are now. They're starting to become more open and honest about their religion, for sure.
So you believe that there are like some sainthood, good people who have done great things, and they're secretly closeted Satanists?
Do you believe that Satanism is really just sitting there and like sacrificing children?
No, but what I'm saying is, for instance, I'll give you an example. When breaking down the writings, they can find 4 major influences of his Satanic Rituals book, which is considered the Satanic Bible, the modern Satanic Bible, that Anton LaVey would write. And the books are from Ayn Rand, who believes in ultimate capitalism. Get yours at all expenses and don't, cut people's throats and don't look at other people. Don't care about other people. It's saying not necessarily do harm, but always look out for number one. There's also things about chaos magic, manifestation, and they found a large part of it was literally plagiarized by a book called Might is Right by Arthur Desmond. Literally chapters of it were taken from it, and he just inserted the name word Satan in it here and there. Mm-hmm. And so none of these philosophies seem to be, in my opinion, righteous or good or about helping anybody. It's all about helping yourself.
But you wouldn't see it as a righteous or good thing because you are a Christian.
But no, forget the poster boy Satan. Forget our guy in our overlay right now. What I am saying is none of these sources seems to be, none of the sources would ever say, feed the hungry child. They're like, do you, brother? So like, what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. How am I supposed to? And that's what I'm criticizing. That's what I'm attacking. It has nothing to do with the connection to Satan, although that doesn't help.
Who's number one in your life, Mantis?
Who's number one in my life?
Who's number one in your life?
God.
What a cop-out answer.
Only a Satanist would say that. Only a Satanist.
What a cop-out answer. I'm sorry. It's a cop-out answer. Number one should always be you. And maybe that is why I sit here and I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. And honestly, I think that God would want you to think that you're number one too. You can't be righteous on a righteous path if you don't find yourself righteous in your own, correct?
So no way. I'll give you I will give you an example of what you were talking about, and I do agree with this. And so this is the whole thing. So have you ever read any, like, you've been on an airplane and you've seen like one of those instructions on how to survive, like in case the cabin is deep,
take care of yourself first.
Right.
Absolutely.
You put your mask on first, then you try to help your neighbor.
I wouldn't help my neighbor.
She is making this debate so easy. She is literally lying down and letting my tanks roll over her right now. You wouldn't help your neighbor.
I would help my neighbor. Come on, I've literally worked in a hospital. We all know that I'm a helpful person, but I'm just sitting here and saying that, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm number one. I take care of me first.
Demon Omega says one of my Satanist friends says Lainey is beautiful. Yes, she
Thank
is.
You.
Looks like Lainey's gonna get an invite to the Satanic Church.
I'm blushing. Invite me.
Matt says I can't even name one Satanist. I'm not gonna have to go. But here's what I'm saying. You know who certain famous Satanists, like the Son of Sam, or for a short time in his life, Jeffrey Dahmer, they worship Satan. So
right, but you're also taking all of these bad examples. They're bad examples.
But I need a good one. I just need you to present one good one of somebody to be like for instance, the guy who did Scientology, the guy who created Scientology, which I don't know if I have to give empirical evidence that they're bad news. He used to dabble in Satanism when he was younger. When he was trying to explore himself, he looked into that. And so, but he produced Scientology, and that's not good. Like, they kidnap people, and
Scientology is absolutely awful. I mean, if we're gonna go with a religion that's a bad religion, don't do Scientology.
But every time I hear of famous people having some encounter with Satanism, even if a lot of them are dabblers, I admit they're not really Jeffrey Dahmer even said, "I just made an altar to Satan and I worshipped him," but he didn't take it seriously, and he didn't when he was a teenager or something. But the point is that every time I hear it, it's never connected to someone good. It's always connected to like people like Son of Sam, who was a serial killer.
Who, once again, you literally just said weren't actual Satanists, correct?
But no, Son of Sam was. Son of Sam was a very like. I mean, he was like a devil worshiper, Satanist.
Right,
I don't know.
Okay. So devil worshiper and Satanism is completely different. Satanists are sitting there and saying they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the devil. They believe in mankind.
So Anton LaVey would admit that he did not believe in the devil. However, he still attracted and got people into it who were devil worshippers. And there were a lot of them who would actually say, he just says that in a public face. He really is into the devil.
I'm just going to drink my water.
Okay. Demon Omega says Benjamin Franklin is believed to be a Satanist. I think he was an atheist. I don't know. I need evidence that he was like chilling with Satan.
They don't chill with Satan, though.
Well, I'm saying that here's what I'm saying. I do believe that the Satanic Bible, although it's not like it's void of Satan, it does talk about Satan. It does talk about using Satan as an example in your life. So it's not insane that we connect him to Satan, right? You knew this was going to be a spicy topic, girl. You knew
I did know that this was going to be a spicy topic, and you know what? I'm not laying down tonight. Sorry, we're going to go. We're going to go.
Matt says, I don't know anything about Satanists. You Satanists believe in spiritual warfare. I would assume. I'm saying they're definitely attacking America right now. Jeffrey Dahmer and Son of Sam were never claimed to be Satanists. They were just highly intelligent. Except for Son of Sam, he went crazy because a dog was telling him. But he actually said he was Son of Sam said he was a practicing like devil worshiper Satanist. Not. I don't think he was involved in the Satanic Church. I think he rolled with a different group of messed up people. Like, what do Satanists actually believe? So, Lainey, would you like to field that one? Why don't you enlighten us?
So Satanism basically is the belief in one's own power. If you are magic, then you have magic. Don't disbelieve it. And they don't believe in God nor the devil. They are considered atheists. They decided to take the moniker of Satan as an opposition. So basically they're sitting there and saying, like, we don't believe in God, we don't believe in the devil, we're Satanists.
So Matt says, do Satanists have a place of worship? Is there a figurehead? Yes, they do have places of worship.
Yes, they do.
And they're, I don't know who their current, they always have a black pope. Anton LaVey was the first one. And for a while, his daughter, in the late 80s and 90s was one. And I don't know if you guys know my feelings on her, but I have a conspiracy theory about her.
Of course you do.
Do you not know this?
I know your conspiracy theory, but maybe the crowd does not. So how about you enlighten us?
So Zena LaVey was originally going to be the new black pope and the face of the church. Anton LaVey, before his passing, many years before his passing, was like, yo, he thought his cute daughter should do it. If you notice, his daughter is the spinning image of one Taylor Swift.
She really is.
If you do not believe me, you can look this up right now. Spitting image. If you see her in interviews, same voice too. Yeah. Right? And so she was doing this for a while. And actually, a lot of times when Anton LaVey would speak, people weren't ever sure if he was being funny or being serious. But he said he did a satanic ritual to try to summon Satan into his daughter.
Correct.
Yeah. And so later on, he's like, she's going to be the new face. She's going to be the new face. At a certain point, before his death, she rejected it. She said her father was full of shit. She's tired of his scams and his evil ways. She wanted nothing to do with them, and she walked away. Mm-hmm. Years later, a pop star named Taylor Swift would take over the airwaves. I think it is obvious that Taylor Swift is a clone of Zena LaVey. And that because Zena LaVey was originally supposed to be the Antichrist, but because she didn't fulfill her destiny, they cloned Satan and put her as a pop star so that she would corrupt our children and bring them into the gates of hell.
So you think that Taylor Swift is the Antichrist?
Is the clone? Yes, she's the Antichrist and the clone of the. She's a clone of the original Antichrist, but I think she's going to fulfill. She's going to walk us into hell, basically.
You think that Taylor Swift is actually going to walk us into hell?
I mean, she might not be next to me when I go to hell, but
I'm
going to be singing her music when I enter the gates. But still, that claims to be not a Satanist, a dabbler, doesn't mean jack. No offense, but if other people claim that he was a Satanist, they're full of shit. So, but here's what I can't. Here's another thing that I can't seem to understand is that what it is anytime someone does something bad and they're associated with Satanism, people are like, well, they weren't real. They weren't a real Satanist. They weren't a real Satanist. You just disavow every one of them, and so that's not a valid argument because then I didn't even know I could do that.
But were they part of the church? Were they ever
Christianity?
Part of the church?
Now I can do that with Christianity. Now, I hear you saying all sorts of things about Christians. I could just disavow anyone I wanted to win an argument. I could just be like, that person's not a Christian. That person's not a Christian. Which I don't do, but I'm saying disavowing people who worship the devil and end up doing bad things and then are being disavowed as Satanists. It's not a fair argument. It's not a fair tactic.
But you're sitting there and saying that were they ever a part of the church?
So here's what I'm saying is like what. So
wait. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean that I'm a Christian. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean I'm a Catholic. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean that I'm any
you need to attend.
Religion.
Wait, hold on. You need to attend Catholic Mass to be a Catholic. However, to be a Christian, all you have to do is believe in Jesus. So yes, somebody who doesn't go to church is and they believe in Jesus, it does fall into the category of Christian. They don't have to be associated with any church or anything like that. Which is why people often associate Christianity with bad things because they blanket all of Western civilization as Christian. Basically they're like, the Iraq War happened because the Christians are trying to continue the crusade. When did Bush ever say that? You know why? You know why they say that? Because he's a Christian, in his heart. And I think that's valid. I think that's a valid criticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But do you guys forget that I study serial killers along with my wife, and my wife is a huge fan of Jeffrey Dahmer, studying him, trying to understand how his brain ticked. We do know that, Demon.
Okay, so wait. I'm gonna counteract you a little bit. So many people think that going to church occasionally or simply believing in God makes you a Christian.
You said
but
God.
The Bible presents a different perspective and.
What are you reading right now, for starters? What is the source?
This is.
Because the definition of a Christian is someone who believes that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and that is it. That is the only definition of a Christian.
That's coming from a Christian. Okay.
That is the definition of a Christian.
Definition of a Christian. I'm gonna look that up.
Is somebody who believes Jesus Christ, was our Lord and Savior. Yeah, that's literally the definition. They don't ever have to utter a prayer to be saved. I'm serious. But go on. Go on with your fugazi source.
No, it's totally fine.
No, who was your source, though? What was the source?
Okay, ready? Christian. Yeah. Relating to or professing Christianity or its teachings. A person who has received Christian baptism or is a believer in Christianity. That is
Christianity, meaning that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. That's the only definition of being Christian. I'm saying even your first definition 1 fits that as well. Read that again.
Relating to or professing Christianity or its teachings.
Professing its teachings, believing that Jesus was the Son of God. That's all it says.
Okay, but I didn't say that people... No, wait a minute, time out, because I never said anything about Jesus. I said God, first of all.
You said just believing in God doesn't make you a Christian. I said you're correct. Not. Believing in Jesus makes you a Christian. That is the definition.
You never said that. Okay.
I did at the very beginning of this report.
Can the chat please tell me, did he ever say that?
Can we
rewind the tapes? Rewind the tapes.
Rewind the tapes, because you said just believing in God doesn't make you a Christian. I was like, you're correct. Believing in Jesus Christ makes you a Christian.
said that, but okay.
I said that. Shaolin Iceboxer says, "Holy shit, she really does look like Taylor Swift. That is uncanny." Don't sing the Devil's Harlot song, Mantis. Hello, Logie Bear. We are talking.
Hello, Logie.
We're having a very heated debate. I see the vein popping out of Lainey's forehead.
Not at all. Not at all. Nope. I'm A-okay.
So Matt, there are various brands of Satanism. The guy who gets the credit as writing the Satanic Bible, although there have been other Satanic Bibles, but in the modern age, his name was Anton LaVey, and he loved being like in the public eye. But yes, he created the Church of Satan. It is a religion. They are responsible for the people who made the. Is it Detroit that did the statue of Baphomet? They are organized. They are trying to increase their numbers, and they definitely try to get in the spotlight whenever possible. Yeah, Logan says a Christian is literally defined as a follower of Christ. Exactly. You don't ever have to go to a day of church to be a Christian. Yeah, I'm serious. This is not suspicious defining. This is it. If you go to any church,
I never said that it was suspicious. All I'm just saying is that I said God, and you went off on tangent, and then said that you said Christ.
Did not.
And
well, it just shows you weren't listening to my tangent, because literally the first thing I said to you was, "You're right. You don't have to believe in God. You have to believe in Jesus Christ to be a Christian."
Okay. Listen, I'm trying to get past this and not argue with you. So.
Well, I'm just trying to show you that I'm right. So. The only person that ever claimed to be a Satanist was Richard Ramirez, and that guy was sick and twisted in the head. You can believe Jesus was Christ, but hate Jesus, right? You not only have to believe that Jesus is Christ, but accept so you have to believe in the goodness of his teachings, or
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because your argument was that somebody is only a Christian if they go to a church or something, and that's not true. There are many Christians do profess Christianity do not go to church on the regular, and you don't have to go to church to be saved, and you don't have to go to church to be a Christian.
Right, but I'm also sitting here and saying that Satanists in the Satanic Church do not believe in the devil.
However, you're saying a blatant statement. However, I've done the research that I did today revealed otherwise. That a large percentage of them actually do believe in that, and that Anton LaVey attracted these people to his crew, and that they would actually literally say after his life, and they would actually say that's just something he said publicly to look cool. Mm-hmm. Now, only he knows. He's
Absolutely,
past 1. He died in 97. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yo, Logie Bear, thank you so much for the bits. Means a lot. Thank you, brother. Do Satanists believe in Jesus Christ? So Anton LaVey's book, The Satanic Rituals, said basically that you should use Satan as like the story of Satan as the fallen angel as an example of doing you, and doing you is the highest order of business in this universe. And so my argument is that's not cool. And so yet no one is. You guys are spending so much time disavowing serial killers, and yet to show any shred of evidence that there is a single good person who's ever been associated with the Church of Satan. And I'm looking for, I want to look at one person who has saved a person, done a good deed, built something that lasted, that helped humanity, someone who founded a hospital, somebody who gave to a sick or lonely child, who is a Satanist or has ever been associated with the Satanic Church, and I have yet to hear a single name be uttered. I can name a lot of Christians. As a matter of fact, hospitals are usually named after these people. But I have yet to see the opposite side. I do see a lot of people skirting around. They're like, well, Son of Sam, who said he was a Satanist, isn't a real Satanist. What is this, man? Or Jeffrey Dahmer, who built a shrine to Satan, the man talked about in the Satanic Rituals, is not a Satanist. I'm like, well, how does that not make him a Satanist? He wasn't a very serious Satanist, but I'm just saying.
Right, but you're asking for us to give you names of good people, right?
People have done something good that are Satanists.
But the problem is like I said earlier, Satanists do not necessarily sit there and say, "Hey guys, I'm a Satanist." It's not good to look at, like, so I'm sitting here, right? And I literally was like, yeah, I thought about becoming part of the Satanic Church. And you automatically were like, oh my God, she's going to hell. She's a devil worshiper. She's horrible.
That's the point of this debate. The point of this debate that we acknowledge before we try to.
Am I not a good person? Am I not a good person? There you go. Am I not a good person? Do you think that I am innately evil? Because I think that the Satanic Church is actually. Wait. No, I want the answer. Do you think that I am innately evil because I want to possibly join a church who sits there and says, you know what? Maybe we should be good to our man, and maybe we should make us number one.
Okay, yeah, let's lay it down. Let's lay it down. I think you are not. Wait. So you would say you are not a member of the Satanic Church right now, or the Church of Satan?
I'm not officially.
Okay.
I'm not officially.
I would argue.
Satanic Church.
So here's what it is. I'm arguing for your very soul right now, lady.
Oh, Jesus
That's what
Lord.
it is.
I don't believe in God.
I think that you are corruptible, and that the idea that isn't a valid idea, that church is valid, is the argument I'm trying to make right now. I'm trying to say it is invalid because they don't do good in this world.
Right, but
I'm trying to prevent you from becoming a member. Is where my stance is. So if you're saying, I don't know anything about your soul, only Jesus knows about your soul. But I'm trying to point out, if you're saying your argument in the beginning, your thesis was it is a valid religion. And my counter argument is a religion that doesn't do any good in this world is not a valid religion.
We don't know what do you know? I want to ask you a question. Do you know a Satanist?
I know people who, once again, as usual, are dabblers and claim to be, but I doubt they've ever been to an organized meeting, or, like we said, these dabblers. Time
out. So they're dabblers, but you wouldn't say that they're Satanists, correct?
I mean, I don't know. They profess to be Satanists. So yes, I do know people who profess to be Satanists.
So they're professing to be Satanists, which makes them Satanists, correct?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Are they bad? Okay, but that's another thing. So now you're sitting here and saying just because they're dabblers, they're not really Satanists. But Jeffrey Dahmer, who had an altar, I
just said you were right. I literally just said you were right. You're right. If they go around to parties and they go, "Yo, I'm a Satanist," okay, yeah, they are.
Great. And are they bad people? Are they bad people?
Out of the short list of people who profess to be Satanists, I haven't seen any of them be good people. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had to cut one out of my life because he was weirdo. So I would say to date, I have yet to see any charitable, good, nice ones who are throwing picnics for kids or visit. You know, they're not visiting kids with leukemia dressed as a clown unless they're trying to kill them.
So now you're saying you know murderers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Like I would love to see. Like somebody who's like, I'm a Satanist and I volunteer at a soup kitchen. I don't see that anywhere, and I would like to see an example of it. And so, if people were talking about the validity of religions, of philosophical ideas, one that tells you just to look out for yourself and doesn't do anything for other people or the world, I would argue, is not valid or not cool. You know? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you think is do you really believe that it is a higher state to just look out for yourself? I mean, is that really the advantage?
But I don't think that is the ultimate goal of Satanism. I really don't.
I
think that the ultimate goal of Satanism is sitting here and saying, yes, I am number one, but humanity is also, like, we are sitting here and we're allowing ourselves to be sheeple all of the time. Satanism is kind of pushing back on that. They're saying, no, first of all, religion and state aren't supposed to be together, right? Correct? Am I correct on that one? Yet
in America, yes.
Yet we're putting the 10 Commandments up on our national grounds. And they're like, hey, you know what? If you can put the 10 Commandments up, let me put a statue of Baphomet next to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did, and they got away with it. Yeah.
They didn't get away with it. They had to take the statue down.
Did they take the statue down?
Yes, they did.
When did they take
But the 10 Commandments are still up.
Yo, can someone double check when the statue? I want a date on when it was taken down.
I need more water.
So in the realm of it, so I want to. There's a couple of things I need you to define. You know, I love defining things, right? So, what is when you said a valid religion was the statement that what is a valid religion, quote unquote, to you in your opinion? Because obviously that's subjective, right?
It is super subjective, and in all honesty, maybe I don't think that any religions are valid. I hate religion. I love religion. Actually, that's a fucked up question.
Okay, that's a fucked up question. Okay. Shaolin says, where does Aleister Crowley fit into this? So they have found that some of the satanic verses and stuff do actually, the satanic rituals, I'm sorry, a lot of Aleister Crowley work is also in there. It's not plagiarized, but the same concepts are admitted into that. So he certainly researched Aleister, the Great Beast's work when going into there. Demon says Batman is just a symbol with his 2 fingers pointing up and 2 fingers pointing down. That means
as is above, so is below. He didn't mean Batman, he meant Baphomet.
Oh, he meant it auto-corrected to Batman. Oh, Baphomet. Okay, he corrected it next. Sorry, I should have just read on. Good topic, says Auntie Kent. Auntie Kent, welcome to this much-needed Halloween episode of
So needed.
Mothership Monday.
I feel like Mothership Monday is turning into just us yelling at each other.
No, I mean, I feel like we've never had such a heated debate, but I think sometimes we need this, right? Because at the end of the day, it's important that we believe in our own shticks, right?
We do 100%.
I'm coming from a different world. At the end of the day, we're probably not even going to convince each other.
Absolutely not.
I do think that since Satanism has actually come up on our other episodes, I think it's important that we finally actually discuss it. Right?
Absolutely. I've been wanting to have this debate with you for a really long time. Absolutely. Also, Auntie Kat, thank you so much. I see that. I'm gonna give you.
So Logan, I'm gonna give you pushback on that one. Because he says, well, that's not true. If you're following Jesus correctly, a church will be part of your life. Going to church does not save you. So, I'll give an example. So I have a guy at my church who's like he's super religious, and he donates, and he's always like donating to every cause that we do. And like people are like, by the way, we want to say blah blah blah. And so his daughter is like an Olympic level swimmer, and so her training is on Sunday mornings, so he can never been to church. I've met this man twice in passing. Like he'll walk through a building, I'm like, oh hey, I've heard of you, how are you, brother? And he's there at every practice, and he's like doing, and his daughter has like been to the Olympics and gonna be in the next one for swimming, and so he does not have time for church.
I mean, I could argue that he might just be looking for that ego boost too. But hey, there you go with that as well.
Well, I mean, my pastor. I actually asked my pastor at it, and she was like, "Yeah, no, it's cool. Life happens." There's sometimes
I'm not talking about him not being able to go to church. What I'm talking about is him donating to every single cause. I'm sorry. I think that that's an ego booster, in my personal opinion.
I mean, it sounds like you don't know the guy, but you're prejudging him. Sounds good.
Okay.
But I don't see Satanists, donating the kids. So, Hannah Banana HT says, I know a Satanist.
And are they good? Yeah, please tell us about the Satanists, because I'd like to know if they're a good person or not. They are always fatties too. What are always fatties?
Says Uncle Sham.
Who are always fat? I'm so
confused. I think he's talking about Satanists.
I'm not a fatty.
But also, Logan, I'm gonna have to tell you that it's not any of us mortal men or women whose place it is to tell someone whether they're a Christian or not. If somebody says I have Jesus in my heart and I can't make it to church for whatever reason, hang up, psychological issue, time restraint, whatever it has, it is not my place or your place to tell them whether they're a Christian or not. I would say that's grossly inappropriate. I want to hear about the Satanist. I want to know about Hannah's Satanist friend. Let's see. Demon Omega says, then let's go into the psychological aspect that they put fear into this person where they are mentally broken down to the point where they are shivering in fear of every day. I've dealt with this kind with a friend of mine who was a Christian. She was crippled by fear. That is not good. That's not a good thing. Why push fear onto people? So I don't know what fear you're referring to, but it sounds very unhealthy, whatever was going on at her church. You know what I'm saying? And so, just being a Christian does not mean you justify the actions of every person who calls themselves a Christian. Like a Christian who goes and shoots up a place because he's like, the Satanists are here. We would not justify that behavior, right?
You're also kind of winning my point. So you want to sit here and you want to say that just because there are no maybe famous people who are Satanists who are out and saying that they're Satanists have done anything good, right? But you're judging the ones who have done bad and sitting there and saying that Satanism is automatically bad.
The only ones that are famous have done bad. This is my argument. There's
right, but you're also
not a
sitting
single
here
person
saying,
has followed up on my challenge and a single charitable a good Satan.
Actually, you're lying. You just skipped past it. Auntie Kat literally posted 10 good things that Satanists have done. Time Satanists surprise people by doing good deeds. You ready? Organizing initiatives to provide menstruation products to those who can't afford it. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty good, especially considering women's rights are being stripped away, correct? Number 2, providing baby supplies for struggling parents. That's a pretty good deed in my book. Oh, 3, backing up campaigns to battle various child abuse at school. Number 4.
Can you send this article? Because here's what it is. The way my thing set up is I can't click links on my thing.
I would absolutely love to send this to you. Love it.
I can't wait to take it apart and
you just don't want to believe that Satanism.
So basically what you're pointing out is organization to get good press has done a few things. I'm looking for
just like your Christian friend who donates to every cause but doesn't go to church because he doesn't go to church on Sunday. Because he doesn't go to church on Sundays. Right. It sounds egotistical to me.
I'm sorry the Christian church hurt you so bad. Because that's what it's sounding like to me.
Just wait until the after show. Just kidding.
Logan says fear generally shouldn't be part of Christianity because a truly saved person has nothing to fear from death. I would agree. 10 good things that they've done, and so thank you, Warbzorb.
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 Hi, Chris. How are you? Okay, let's do this. I sent it to you.
You sent it in Discord?
I sent it. Oh, why do I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you send it. I'll find it.
That's fine. I'll send it to Discord.
Insta?
Yeah. It's on Discord now. Anyhow, let's go. Let's do this.
Okay. Let's look at these publicity stunts that they pulled.
Publicity stunts my ass. And listen, Christianity is pulled. I cannot with you right now. I cannot with you right now.
You are aware that this is the point of the podcast to debate it, so you have to with me right now.
I'm debating it. I am debating it. I'm just sitting here and saying, look up the 10 good things and let's see you try to tear it apart. It's fine. It's totally fine. You can try.
So do we have statistics actually on these events on how much they actually gave and what are the dates that they gave?
Okay, so you want to sit there and you want to denote the article, number 1, but number 2.
The article is from Bored Panda, a source that I have never heard of in my life.
As a Christian, if I were in the Christianity church, right, and let's say I got raped. I said the R word, I'm sorry. I got R-worded, right? And I ended up pregnant and I need a smortion.
Right.
I can't do that.
I would prefer. Here's what it is. Unless you can, I'm sorry. We're going to get into your thing. Auntie Kat, you can give more if they're from valid sites, or you can somehow prove to me that Bored Panda is a legitimate news site, because this sounds like the equivalent of a Trump supporter sending one of those Fugazi articles. I'm not saying they didn't do it, But I am saying that it seems like I noticed that there aren't dates or references to when these events went down. And so I'm sorry, go on to your R word analogy.
All I'm sitting there and saying is that if I were to join the Satanic Church and I needed a smortion, legally, they cannot tell me otherwise because of my religion. It's the only religion that protects women's rights.
It doesn't. Oh my God, that is not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, it is true. What do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about? Please enlighten me. Enlighten me, please.
Yes, okay. So having here's what it is. Having a religious belief or whatever will never get you around murder. So just if you're in a state where it's illegal to abort, you're not going to be able to have an abortion.
I believe we've already had this debate as well, sir. And you literally said that abortion was not murder. You said that.
It's not my interpretation of whether it's murder. I'm talking about the state. If a state has outlawed it on the basis that they believe that it's murder, just because you're a Satanist doesn't mean the state's going to let you do it for religious freedom. There's no state that would ever do that if they believe that it's murder. So being a member of it isn't freeing you from that. It's not putting you in a legal loophole. You do realize that. It's a religion that will accept that. It's a religion that will accept you having one, and they won't call you a murderer. They within that organization, but they can't make Arkansas allow you to have an abortion on a legal level. They just can't do that. And so if somebody was like, I'm ancient Aztecian religion and I believe I can do virgin sacrifices, no state would ever let you do that. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't allow you to loophole around the law. What it is once again, to get more members, they're pointing out, well, we're a religion who isn't going to judge you if you get an abortion. But they are not going to actually be able to win this. They might try to bring it to the Supreme Court, certainly. But it's, unless we live in bizarre world, a state that has outlawed it because they see it as murder will never allow the freedom of religion loophole to save it. You see what I'm saying? Okay. But I will agree with you on this. I will agree with you on that. You are right that there are going to be that. I would argue that a church that is saying to a poor girl who was R word and got pregnant, and then tripling down pain and trauma by saying you have to have a child is uncool. And it is cool that a benefit of the Church of Satan is that they're like, well, we will never condemn you for having to get rid of it. I will absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Lainey?
Sorry. So Auntie Kat just sent me. Board Panda is a Lithuanian website that publishes articles about lightweight and inoffensive topics. It was founded in 2009 by Thomas Banasakis, who was then a business administration student at Vilnius University. As of November 2017, the site had 41 employees. It makes most of its revenue from the advertisements that run on the site accordingly.
Okay. Thank you for giving us that information, Auntie Kat. Warbzor over here says, "Why get heated? God nor Satan exists."
Thank you, Chris.
Seishin Saikatsu,
spiritual life.
What up?
Hello. How are you? It's so good to see you.
Board.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so Logan says Board Panda is not a little. Yeah, I mean, you had me at Lithuanian. The moment I heard it's a Lithuanian site, I was like.
So I feel that no matter what, it doesn't matter what we were to come up with. It doesn't matter. Like you would still try to denote it.
Here's what I'm saying: the New York Times has not done an article on them. On these charitable things.
Board Panda literally has been around, like she said, since 2009. I've heard of Board Panda even before she brought this up. Everybody in this room, I can guarantee you, has heard of Board Panda. You want to sit there and say you have not?
Whether you've heard of it or not does not make it a legitimate news source.
You are not legitimate, sir.
You can't handle the truth, Lainey. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God!
No one is attacking anyone who supports Trump
Also,
I did.
Board Panda is right there with the Chive, 9gag, Reddit, and E-Bombs World.
You're not making your case sound any better.
Stop.
You get your news from Reddit? You're telling me you get your news from Reddit?
No, I don't get my news from Reddit. Can you just stop right now? Because as I said it, you know what? Just stop.
Okay. And so, spiritual world. I want to say I'm not against anyone who supports Trump or anything like that. I would just say that during the election, and not the original election, I think like 2016 election, there were a lot of like these websites that had news articles in them that were pro-Trump. And they seem to be less than legitimate. Am I right? Can we all agree on that one? That like for instance, things that have news articles about how Hillary Clinton is having a child pornography ring in the basement of a pizza parlor that physically, when investigated, doesn't have a basement, is not a legitimate article, right? And so that's the kind of things that were going around during 2016. And so I was just comparing it to that basically there's a lot of things on the internet is my argument right now. There's a lot of sources on the internet and not all of them are, not all of them check their sources is what I'm getting at. Logie, help me out here, man. I'm floundering.
Of course you want to go to Logie because Logie is going to defend you no matter what.
No, he's going to explain what you consider legitimate or not. Hello, public friend 9gag.
Yeah, shut up, both of
you. Thank you, Warbs. Thank you, public. Sation. I'm sorry. Spiritual Life says news from Reddit is okay.
Thank you. Anyhow, he really did. I feel a little bit bad now. I take it back. I take it back, Logie. I'm sorry.
Wait, when did he? When? Oh yeah, right. Well, okay, here we are.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look up good things that Satan's did because
what I think is happening right here is this is what's happening to America. We're having a failure to communicate. Because we can't even agree on what our legitimate sources, legitimate arguments, right? all I'm saying is, actually, you know what?
Take back those bits. Okay, wait. Auntie Kat also says that Board Panda is the equivalent to Dodo News, and everyone knows them.
Okay, here on Ranker, we got 10 famous Satanists. Let's hear it. Sammy Davis Jr., Marilyn Manson, Jane Mansfield, Kenneth Anger. I don't know who that is. Liberace, Susan Atkins. Oh, look, she's an arrest. I don't know who she is, but she is an arrest. Photo. Oh, she was involved with the Manson killings. Wonderful. Balls Mahoney. Okay, a wrestler. Mark Almond. I don't know who that is. Diamond. Okay. Well, that didn't help. Although I do want to bring something up that is a side note, but it does have a lot to do with it has to do a lot to do with you and me, actually.
Oh.
Okay. So I studied the life and times of Anton LaVey, right? And so he was born April 11th, 1930 in Chicago, right? His real name was Howard Stanton LaVey, but he, for some reason, started calling himself Anton Sanders, and people just went along with it. He would later on be known as the Black Pope, right? But he had many jobs in his life. Supposedly, he dropped out of high school and became a carny. In his own story of his own life, he told that he became an organist at a carnival, at a traveling circus. Right? Mm-hmm. In his life, he has been a crime scene photographer, a musician. He's worked at a circus. He used to be the cage handler for the big cats at the circus as well. He was a psychic investigator, and then he gave seminars about occult subjects, including vampires, werewolves, and UFOs. You realize that this dude is us? This dude is basically, he was doing Mothership Monday before there was a Mothership Monday.
Exactly. So are we Satanists?
I'm sure one day I'm going to be accused of it. I'm sure. I'm bald like him. I'm bald. I'm bald. Oh, you know what I mean? By the 1950s, he had a house that he painted all black, which he called the Black House, where he would throw parties, Satan-themed parties, have orgies. And he also claimed in his own autobiography that he had an affair with Marilyn Monroe before she was famous.
And how does that make you feel?
Makes me think he's a liar and therefore a bad man.
Oh my God.
In 1966, he wrote the Satanic Rituals, otherwise known as the Satanic Bible, and he called it Annu Satanis, meaning it is the first year of Satan, 1966.
Okay, what's the worst thing he did in his living life? What was the worst thing he did?
He was just a low-level con man, and you know, whatever. He doesn't seem to do anything truly evil. However, his daughter says that he's evil. Xena would later on doesn't want to talk about it, but would say my father's full of shit and he really is a bad dude. Never getting into details about that. If he did clone her and make Taylor Swift, that's pretty evil. Bringing Taylor Swift into the world, I would say that's top tier evil, wouldn't you?
I think that you want to find something that he did that was evil, so you can better, say, oh, well, Satanists are bad. They're just innately bad.
No, I don't need him to be evil. I don't need to be him to be evil to say that a religion that's supposed to, religions, in my opinion, once again, because that's subjective what we get out of religion, should try to bring out the higher levels of us. And I would argue that something that teaches Anne Ryan's objectivism, that you should be all out for yourself, and that good will happen around you as a result of that. That is not. That in my belief is that not your higher self, and that's why I've been trying to turn you against this, Lainey. I'm trying to save you.
Sorry, I'm not savable.
I may never turn you into a Christian, but I can at least save you from Satan.
I don't know, man. I might join the church.
You're gonna do this just to spite me. I know you are. Nigel Trotter says I was going to avoid this subject because I'm a Baptist. But this is the fat mantis, so I gotta at least see. Thank you, Nigel. That means a lot.
Hello, Nigel.
Logie coming through with the facts. You have different concepts of what good and evil are. Yes, that's very true. That's what Logie says. I mean, do you believe in good and evil, or is that another thing you don't believe in?
No, of course I believe in but I have to agree with Logie. I think that our concepts are completely different. I think that one slight bad doing is bad for you, and I look at it and I'm like, there's a gray. I do think that there's a gray area.
Oh, there's always a gray area. There's absolutely gray area.
So then I just.
But I would say empirically, looking at if we're looking at this scientifically, you look at numbers and results, right?
Right,
and I'm weighing the number of people who follow that philosophy versus who have successfully or on a large scale done great deeds, done good things, helped humanity out.
But again, we don't have those numbers because people don't want to necessarily be outright and say, "Hey, I'm a Satanist."
But I'm saying, there
are many people who are atheists who have done good deeds, and they could 100% be part of the Satanic Church. There are people who are absolutely going and in droves, and they're signing up for the Satanic Church. Why?
In droves.
Why? In droves. They started with 400 people, and now they're at thousands. Because people
and those people probably won't be, And do you think that it's possibly a fad? It's possibly a fad that, they're not gonna. I mean, come on, thousands isn't much. That's enough for a streamer, but I would say that your average Twitch streamer, or not average, successful Twitch streamer has that in a stream. Amaranth has more people in a stream than their church, and not that numbers actually legitimize a religion, right? Jesus started with 12, as they say. Spiritual Life says the mindset to agree to disagree has to be thrown in the trash, really, to have an open discussion which leads to more understanding. I feel you. It's a rough world that we live in. Like, to not be an asshole, we have to agree to not disagree. But in truth, we all know we really disagree, period. Right?
We're going to disagree because, once again, I'm going to bring up your friend here who doesn't go to
Jesus?
church. No. I think that you and I, like Logie said, I sit here and we look at the world in very different views. Because when you're sitting here and saying that you have a person in your church who donates to every good, deed, he does everything, right? But that's because he can't go to church. So one, he's either trying to make up for the fact that he can't go to church and he feels just so very badly about it, which is still not good in my eyes. Or two, he is egotistical and wants people to think that he is such a good man, and that is why he is donating all of this money.
But do you think it's at all possible that what you're saying right now is just coming from the hater's mindset? That
No.
what we have is a man who's donating to people. You've never met him. You don't know anything about him. But your first thought is, you're like, this is shady. He's some loser, egotistical prick.
I never said he was a loser, and I never said he was a prick. All I said was his ego.
He's egotistical.
He's egotistical.
Okay,
which is far from a loser and far from.
Okay. So I'm just saying,
Right,
is it possible that this is hater syndrome, and that, like,
No,
you don't have enough data on this man to determine whether he's a good or bad person?
I think that all Christians are egotistical. Sorry, not sorry. I think that you all think that you are higher than anybody else because you have this belief in something that we don't even know is real. So you want to sit there and say you are wrong. You're going to hell. I mean, no, let me finish. Every single Christian, in my opinion, is an egotistical person due to the fact that I can't just live my life and I need saving. You have to save me from my antics because I don't believe in in God. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus Christ. That's ego. That is ego.
So here's what it is. I've got bad news for you. That what it is any actual member of any religion or political group or pretty much any philosophy has the same ego. That obviously somebody becomes a Democrat because they believe that's the right way. Someone becomes a Republican because that's the right way. Someone becomes a Buddhist because that's the right way. You're never going to see a Buddhist say, oh, well, Islam could be the right way. They don't believe that in their heart of hearts. And if they say that, they are lying to you to fulfill some sort of modern bullshit of kissing everybody's ass. And we're all scared to tell people that they're right or they're wrong, right? We'll say when people are right, but we won't say when they're wrong. We won't be like, well, you are flat out wrong. Yes, it's true. People are like, well, don't you think that you should give every religion a chance? Well, I've done my own exploring in life. I've come to my own answer. And so at this point, obviously, no, I don't think every religion is equal. And anyone who's religious on any religion, whether they're Hindu or Buddhist or whatever, and if they claim that they are open-minded like that, they are lying through their teeth. And what it is you're talking about ego. We're talking about human nature. You're really essentially casting this egotistical net on everybody. But surely even a Satanist believes that their way is correct and everyone else is a fool. Everyone else is a fool because they haven't figured out that serving yourself is what's up. That is clearly the same thing. It's the same mentality. I feel you. I understand that it's egotistical for me to say I've discovered something that has saved my soul. And if you don't know it, you're lost. And that is egotistical. But I would say a Satanist is saying the same thing. It's the same critique. That's everybody.
There's no booyah there. There's no
booyah.
Oh yeah. My God, I
declare booyahism. Oh, got her. And so Logie says, so those definitions are where you need to start from. That's what you think about Satanists. Christians donate for good. For good, Satanists have to prove why they donated, and that's what you believe. So what it is that you were able to pull up, I'm saying anyone can find good propaganda on particularly organizations because Yeah, I think that organizations and people and things and celebrities and things, they do things to get into the news for the wrong reasons. Just like I assume you believe that man is donating. That guy at my church is donating possibly for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. I do 100%.
No, you can believe that. You can absolutely believe that. I'm not going to cast you out because you say that. I'm hoping he has better things like that.
Of course, hope is good. Yeah. Hope is good, and your religious beliefs are your own, correct?
Fine. Of course, it's anyone's relationship with the divine, whatever you want to call the divine, whether it's a god or an energy or whatever, or knowledge or whatever, is absolutely a personal choice. But the point of this episode, or the point of this debate, is that one side defends Satanism, the other side trashes Satanism. I'm happy to be the one to trash Satanism because I don't think it's good for us. I don't think the world would be a better place if we had more Satanists in the world. And so I would love it if somebody would try to convince me or have some sort of thing. And if somebody's like, well, they handed out diapers once, I'm like, I'm going to need a little more evidence than that. Than a philosophy that tells you to look out for yourself. Yeah, every drunk stepfather I've ever had told me to look out for myself. I don't know if that was good advice, but you know what I'm saying? That doesn't sound like very evolved advice. Christianity is actually the opposite. The fundamental core of Christianity requires humility and recognition of one's extreme shortcomings. I do love that about that in Christianity you have to do self-exploration, and you have to really be ready to call a spade, especially with your own sin. I think a lot of people are offended by it because the deconstruction part of Christianity is hard. You've got to admit when you're a sinner. You got to admit when you're wrong, and people hate doing that. And that is one of the reasons I love it, Logie. I agree with you. But I would say that there is a level of egotism in any philosophy that somebody takes, that they believe that they are right. And I think there's nothing wrong with believing you're right. We all live our lives in any way. We all have rituals and things that we do with our way. And I think it's totally all right for you to believe that your way is right. It's perfectly acceptable.
No, I think it's acceptable as well. I just don't like the fact that, people think that because I decided that I'm not a Christian, I need to be saved. Or I am a sinner because I decided that Jesus is not my savior. Like that's a huge issue for me in your religion, is that you think.
But what about every other religion that says that you're wrong?
That's a huge. Okay, I'm so sorry. That's a huge.
I'm saying you're signaling out Christianity, but I'm saying a Buddhist would say she is lost eternally as a ghost and will continually have miserable reincarnations until she gets with the program. That's absolutely what they're going to say to you. A Jew is going to say you are not one of the chosen people. You don't get the reward at the end because you're not one of the chosen people. That is absolutely what a Jew would say. So I'm just saying, like, you're pointing out Christianity's flaws, but I'm saying it's the flaw of every religion.
Religion is flawed. Religion is 100% flawed.
Humans are flawed.
Absolutely.
We create flawed things.
Oh my God. We're just chaotic. We like chaos.
So the difference between you and me is that I'm over it. I get it. I'm like, yeah, humans are flawed. Okay. I forgive them.
So now you're saying that I'm not with that? Like, I completely understand that humans are flawed, and yes, I do understand that any religion will tell me that I'm a sinner.
What I'm saying is you shouldn't
go to their. I'm not taking this to heart. First of all I'm sitting here and saying is that you're attacking these people. You don't even know what they have done. I don't know what they have done. I'm not.
They haven't made it clear.
Right.
They absolutely haven't made it clear.
They have not made it clear. They have not made it clear. But
the point of this broadcast is to make a call, to make an assessment.
Can I make an assessment, or are you going to?
I don't know. You just keep going on. Continue with your point.
Mm-mm.
You were on a run on, and I was interjecting.
Okay, now I'm actually pissed off. Oh man.
Nigel Trotter says, to her point, a title doesn't dictate a person's morals. A lot of Klansmen have done very good for their community, but maybe they don't say they're Klansmen because there's a lot connected to that. Okay. But like, I would say that in a podcast where we are supposed to defend or cast out a philosophy or an idea or an organization, they're going to have to make it clear their positives. And if someone's like, "Well, I can't tell you the positives because it's a secret," well, then I don't know. What are we to do? You can't blame the people who are casting it out if they're not allowed to see the
But
good.
you're sitting here and you're judging people for being not secretive, just private. Okay, and also I'm sorry, but to get back to the egotistical, like every good deed needs to be put out there. It's just like sitting here and saying that the people on TikTok who decide to give money to the homeless, yet they're sitting there and videoing it. Are they good people? Are they innately good people? Do you think that is a Christian thing to do?
And so I don't know. I can't judge every single person. I don't know, but I understand what you're saying.
But you're judging Satanists because they decided not to be putting out what they're doing.
I'm judging them by the philosophies in their holy book. Yes, by the ones that they let out. And I would like to point out, you talk about your secret membership.
But you also sit there and you say that there are multiple books. Have you read each and every one of these books? Or did you just choose
I've been attacking Anton LaVey's brand of the Church of Satan.
Exactly. So you have no idea what these new books say. You have no idea what their idealists are. I don't either. I'm not a Satanist.
Okay, Lainey, you have to rein in what you were talking about. At the beginning of this very thing, I made it clear that I was talking about the Church of Satan founded by Anton LaVey in 1966. We didn't do any research or even agree to discuss every other brand of Satanism. Obviously, if I didn't read their book, I can't judge them. Okay. I am judging what Anton LaVey put in his book.
Okay, then judge.
Okay, right?
Yeah, judge. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so, as to address this secret membership thing, secrecy is not a tenet of their religion. They do not insist that people stay secrets. There have actually been religions in the past that do that, but Satanism is not one of them. And so, why all these members are being are secretive and not like yelling it from the mountain, I don't know why they would, but I would also need empirical evidence that that's happening.
Okay. So you just are I need to see it kind of guy. Like you can't just give people the benefit of the doubt.
If I'm scientifically looking at numbers of
you're right.
Results,
and that's another thing that you and I don't have in common. I sit here and I look at things in a very different light. And I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, I have no idea what these people are like because I'm not in their church. Honestly, maybe I should join their church just to see what they are like. That's something I would do. Maybe because I don't.
And then we never saw her again.
Maybe not. But you know what? I don't judge people from not knowing. I don't know every Christian. I don't know every Christian's heart. I don't know their religion that well. I was Protestant when I was 4 years old. And from what I saw of that church, it was absolutely horrible. It was a cult. And a lot of them are. A lot of churches are cult-like. So we can sit here and we can fight over the Jewish community, over the Buddhist community, over the Christianity community, over the Satanist community, but none of them are innately good. None of them. We all have evil in us. Every single person on this planet has done bad. But we want to sit there and say the Satanists are horrible people because they took the moniker of the devil. Yet they're sitting there and saying that they're atheists. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in Christ. They don't believe in the devil.
Can you actually blame people for judging someone who decided to name their church or organization or book after the Dark Lord and the Evil One? Can you actually blame them?
If you listen, did you watch any of the videos? Did you watch videos today? I'm sure you did.
I did.
And what were most of the? Did you look up like the evil of the Satanists, or did you just look up Satanism? Because honestly, most of these people are just sitting here and talking and saying, "I accept everybody. I don't push man out of my life. If you are in a bad spot, I'm going to take you in. I'm going to help you." These are the videos that I watched. Are these the videos that you watched?
I mean, I see people say a lot of things about how great their own reality is.
I see Christians, I see Jewish, I see Buddhists all sit there and talk the same shit, but they still do evil. Boom. Booyah.
Well, no, but what's really funny is that you've been preaching Christianity 101. So at least in your heart, you're a Christian. So yes, the fact that we're all sinners and we're all flawed and we fuck everything up is Christianity 101. So there's that, right? But seeing somebody to their own testament as to why their own reality is awesome is certainly one thing you should explore, but it's not the only one because you want results.
Listen,
if you sit down with a member of ISIS, they're going to tell you how awesome their organization is and how great their cause is.
You are literally sitting there and say, okay, you don't want to listen to me because you are a religious man. I get it, and I don't want to make this into an actual fight, but because you are a religious man, you don't want to listen to what I just said. What I just said is that we are judging a group of people because they took up the moniker of Satan. But they are sitting there and stating, and this was even Lavoie, the book that you did decide to study. I do not believe in God. I do not believe in Christ. I do not believe in Satan. He said it. Yeah, now his people may have said this was what he said in private. But you're not going to know what this man actually believed. Right.
But I mean,
right. But, oh my God.
Oh, go on.
No, that's because we're just going to keep going around in the same circle now. Because
I want to pitch something to you.
Pitch it. Pitch away.
So if an organization that's decided to invoke the image of Nazism and they're like, we're the new day Nazis, and people started hating on them, would we be wrong to hate on them and not want to read their pamphlets and not want to explore their thing, even if they stood for something good?
Nazis were very real. They were in our face. They were something that was tangible and touchable. So, Satan and God are not tangible nor touchable.
But in a country that has so many Christians in it, you realize that bringing up Satan, and everyone knows that, obviously, who's doing that to be provocative, invoking the image of Satan is going to create a negative backlash. People are going to have a negative reaction to that, obviously.
You do realize that more and more people are actually becoming atheists. A lot of people are leaving the churches as we speak. They're sitting there and saying that these are not innately good ideas nor idealisms. So they are leaving the church and saying, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I don't believe in Satan. And I'm sorry, but when you want to bring up Nazis, like I said, they are tangible. It's something that we could touch. These were real. It was in our face. Satan is not real. God is not real.
Well, I'm saying they're both invoking imagery of evil. Why should anyone? Here's what I'm saying. How can you have a problem with the world being like, we reject these Satanists? And people are like, well, we're really, really nice. They're like, well, why are you associating your organization with Satan?
Because, like you said, it's provocative. Because it is provocative. It was something to get people's attention. Absolutely, they were using it as an attention-seeking purpose. 100%. I feel like I'm in church. Me too. Yo, for real though.
I feel like I'm not going to finish that. I feel like Satanists are okay with being judged. That's the kind of their thing, to be contradictions to Christians, right? Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, when Anton LaVey, who says he doesn't believe in Satan or God, creates a thing called the Church of Satan, and he talks about Satan or using him as I guess someone to look, the story of Satan, to use the story of Satan as an example of like rebellion and seeking your own reality. He was truly doing it to be absolutely to be edgy, to be a contrarian. However, I cannot blame people who hear the name of the church and are like, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm not blaming them either. When I'm sitting here, is that the argument? Okay, wait, I'm sorry. I'm a little confused now. Is the argument to sit there and say that we're judging the Satanists because they chose Satan as their moniker? Or are we sitting there and saying that Satanists are bad people? Or are we sitting there and saying that Satanists are good people? Because now I'm just confused as to what we are arguing.
And as I did my thesis statement at the beginning, is that the philosophies within the book and the religion are garbage and will not make you a more advanced person or help the world.
I think you're wrong.
Just generally being a contrarian to be a contrarian isn't going to help the world or do anything good. It would be my argument.
Okay. You go out there and be with your good Christian faith people and do good in the world, even though it's okay. You know, we're saved people. It doesn't mean I have to be good. It just means that as long as I accept Jesus Christ into my life and I do something wrong, he's going to forgive me. It's okay. I'm going to go to heaven. That's okay, right? That's something you believe in, right?
I don't believe in what you're saying. I believe in parts of what you're saying, but you're purposely doing it to be vindictive and angry or something. So
no, I'm not vindictive nor angry. I'm just sitting here and saying that those are the beliefs.
Like a Venus flytrap, their viewpoints are very nice and natural to human nature. But like a fly pad, it looks great until you get caught up in it. Actually, I'm standing and saying bye.
Wait, was that buy or stop?
It could be buy or high or stop. I can't tell.
I think it's stop. I think what does helping the world mean? Loki is on my side tonight.
No. So Loki, I'm not. Here's what I'm saying. The counterpoint is not Christianity right now. He keeps bringing up like Christianity or whatever. We of course have to touch on Christianity, but what I'm saying is, I would argue Christianity helps the world, but I would also argue that Buddhism or mainstream Hinduism helps the world. I would argue that. We're arguing the validity of a. I'm speaking. I'm arguing the validity of a life philosophy and not the counterpoint between Christianity and Satanism. And so you keep being like, well, that's not Christian. That's not Christian. Not everything I'm saying is about Christianity. It's not a referendum on Christianity. It's actually a referendum on Satanism and its value as a philosophy. Oh, you're raising your hand. Pubs, speak. I'll put your thing up. Again, it depends on how you define helps the world. Yeah, I mean, how do you define it?
Oh, am I allowed to speak now?
You're always allowed to speak. You are really no, I'm not gonna finish that thought, but like we knew we were gonna get heated before this, but I didn't realize how much defense you had for an organization or a church you've never been a member of.
I think that I fight for a person's belief. I'm fighting for these people's belief. Absolutely.
If I may ask, are you a cultural or religious equivalentist, or do you believe that they're all valid? Like all life philosophies are valid?
All life philosophies? No. I think that all religions are valid.
Even Christianity?
Yes. I have never ever once said that Christianity is not a valid religion. Okay. What I do sit there and say is that I don't love being forced or feeling forced into feeling or believing in something, in God, in Jesus, in the book, in the stories. I don't love that feeling. That to me is like exactly what Christianity probably shouldn't be doing. It's like, if I believe, I believe. Don't tell me I have to. Don't tell me that I'm not even freaking kidding you when I say I was told I was going to hell because I believe in reincarnation. How is that anyhow?
I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm sorry that you had such an intense experience. You know what I mean? I realize now that I probably didn't even realize how intense an experience you had.
It was awful. It was an absolutely awful experience that I had in that church.
And so, if I may ask, is it possible that you are a huge defender of Satanism today in this cast, even though you've never been a member or whatever, just because they're sticking it to Christianity? Is that a part of it?
Maybe.
Okay, like we said, life behaviors are valid, right? Each to their own. Right?
Maybe. Also, I think that like I tried to say earlier, I don't know what videos you watch, but from the videos that I watched, it did seem like these people really are looking out for the other man. Yeah, of course, I'm first. I'm sorry. That is an ideal that I believe, and it took me a long time to believe that. I try to make myself first before anybody else because I have to, because nobody else is looking out for me. So at the end, so yeah, that is an idealism that I will put to the test.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Pub's pretty standard way of trolling people.
I'm sorry.
They
Pubs.
say, now that I've had to explain my joke, it is no longer funny. Thank you.
It's always funny, Pubs. It's always funny, Pubs.
Funny 50% of the time. Logie says, biblically, Hinduism helps nobody because it reconciles nobody to Christ. Lainey will tell you when you can speak.
I feel like I've been interrupted all night, but the one moment that I tried to interrupt you, you kind of
you truly shut me down when I tried to interrupt you before. It was intense and beautiful and fun. But don't do it again, or I'll no. And Nigel says, me and my atheist friend have the same type of debates. It's healthy. I know where she's coming from. I think it is healthy. I think it's absolutely when it's healthy. So it's interesting what Loki said about Hinduism. And so he pointed out that it doesn't reconcile no one to Christ. And so once again, this is one of those things where if we have different definitions of how to help the world, we can't have the conversation. And so what it is Loki's coming from a very, in my opinion, very hardcore, like truly Christian viewpoint that the only things that help the world are leading you to Jesus. And that's a very Christian one. However, I was not saying, like I said, I was not coming from necessarily a point of a Christian where I'm not saying help the world is secret talk for leading people to Jesus. I meant like feeding the hungry and diapers.
Right. But again, you want to sit here and you want to say that there's no proof. So there's no way that they've helped the world. We don't know. First of all, how old is Christianity?
2,000 years, give or take.
How old is Hinduism?
Or 2,020 years, give or take.
How old is Hinduism? How old is Buddhism? How old is Judaism? How old are these religions?
I mean, pretty old. For
pretty
Judaism
old, right,
would have been 6,000.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
I can't even say what the other one.
There's a lot of time for them to sit there and say, "Oh, we've done all of this good throughout our entire, religious being," right? Where Satanism has started, what? It's how many years old is Satanism?
Well, I mean, if 19
how many years?
Anton LaVey started his church in 1966, but as we pointed out, they are different than like true devil worshippers who have no organized church, and obviously they've existed as long as Christianity has.
So how old is Satanism?
So I mean, if you're really talking about somebody who's just worshiping the devil, 2,000 years at least, right?
No, not worshiping the devil. Satanism. Of the definition of the religion, Satanism.
If we're talking about, like I said, if we're talking about Anton LaVey's church, he started in 1966.
1966, right? So that doesn't give you really a lot of time to be putting out there what good you have done for the world, right? What good you've done for the world doesn't give you a lot of time, does it?
But my argument
but your argument also is that
is that on a scientific level,
Christians and these Hinduism people, they just sit there and they tell you what good they've done because it's the right Christian thing to do. It's to tell people what they've done in a good deed.
Okay, so do you see how I started talking and then you not only interrupted but you went on a tangent right there?
Well, that's also because I was still talking. So I'm actually pretty good at just blowing through.
So I'll give you an example. And so I am not a Scientologist. I don't love the Scientologists. If you're a Scientologist, that's your thing. But if I were to sit down with Tom Cruise and I was to be like, yo, Scientologists don't do shit. They claim they can cure your mind. They can get the overthetans out of my brain. You guys don't do that. He could literally sit down and at least produce examples of it working in people's lives.
I'm not a Satanist. And so maybe you should have had this conversation with somebody.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying them. I want them to support. I want them to be like. I want them to be able to be like, "Yo, look at what we've done. We turned a village of idiots into enlightened baboons." I don't know. Whatever they claim to do. You know what I'm saying? I need that. And so if there isn't that empirical evidence, what am I supposed to go on in terms of helping the world, quote unquote?
But you would be having a conversation with a Scientologist, right? So if you were to ask me,
No,
about
I'm saying
if you
they
were
could
to ask,
defend their church because they have numbers. I want to see numbers on Satanism.
how old is Scientology?
Not long either, because that guy was alive. You know, the guy who wrote Dianetics, right? L. Ron Hubbard.
Can you give me an example of what Scientologists have done to help the world? Can you give me an example of what Scientologists have done to help the world? And make sure that I want to see your fact checks too, please, because I want to make sure it's not from.
Oh wait, by the way, I'm not saying they're a valid way of life. I'm saying that they're going to produce numbers. But while I'm looking this up, you should be entertaining the people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually, I'm entertained by you looking it up because, I really would like to know if Scientology has any good, sources that say that they've done good for the world. Because I don't think that they do. But
Well, okay, so I'll tell you a grimy tactic that they do, and so this is pretty cool. This was a brilliant scam in terms of recruitment. They bought up or created or opened up a lot of rehab centers, and then they get involved with the government, and they're like, "We're a rehab center. If you want to pay sub amounts of money for the tuition to come here, we'll take criminals." And they're like, "Great." And so the government doesn't realize that the organization is owned by a cult. And then when you or somebody, an example, is drinking and driving and they get arrested and they're like, "Well, you have to go to rehab, sir." And they're like, we are state mandating you to go to your local rehab center. Where do they send them? To a place that is inadvertently owned by Scientologists. That way they can find people at their weakest and then recruit them. Very grimy. But
so they don't really essentially do good. They do good for themselves.
Yeah, they're getting something out of it,
right? But
they could probably show me how many people went sober. They could probably give me numbers on that.
Is that innately good, or would you say that is just a sneaky?
It's not good. I don't think it's a good life philosophy either. I would do an episode on shitting on them as well.
So do you think that any of the good that they've done was out of just the love of humanity, or do you think that most of the good that they did was just to be spiteful and
I've admitted that it's a selfishly motivated thing.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think Scientology is a good life philosophy. I would also do an episode on it where I would take the counterpoint, Scientology sucks, the way I'm doing to Satanism tonight. And what I'm saying is that they could at least give me numbers on how many people they quote unquote helped. But I'm saying Satanism can't even do that.
Look at the 700,000 people who have joined their church. Is that not good doing? 700,000
joining an organization?
People. Yeah, why not? It's sitting there. Why?
How many diapers did they give out according to that fake website?
I don't know. You wouldn't read it. You decided that it was a fake website and you didn't want to read it.
It's Lithuanian. You can't trust a Lithuanian website. Rebuke TV.
Why can't you? I'm so sorry. Why can't you trust a Lithuanian website? I don't understand that. So you're sitting there and saying, what if we got news from Poland or from Switzerland? It's not real, right? It's just not real.
Just
also,
like I talked
Satanism,
about.
Also, Satanism is huge in Europe. That out there too. So but it's not. It's not real.
So, just as I pointed out that it's all right for people of religion or certain religious or a certain political affiliation to be discerning as to what they think is right or wrong or good or whatever. I leave the door open to do that with anything. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's like, check out this Lithuanian website and the stats it has, I completely am fine with saying I discriminate against it. Doesn't seem real. Public friend says, if you're a Scientologist, I'm blocking you. I love all of our intolerances are coming out today. Gray Winthrop says, technically Baal was worshipped way before this new Jack Jesus. Yes, that's very true. Technically Jesus is really running the cult, right? They've actually done a lot to help the world because they have so much money, but they have also done a lot of bad, and they harass and abuse their ex-members. Yes, I have some horror stories about Scientology, about friends who have them and who have had family members who have been Scientologists. And I personally have not had good experiences with what's going on over there. You know, their excommunicated members have the most horrific stories. I love it that is your name Elizabeth Moss, the one from Mad Men?
Mm-hmm.
She used to be very clearly friends with this one actress, and it's well documented. You see them on camera together. You see them all the time talking back in the day. And that friend has quit Scientology and is talking shit about him on like Joe Rogan and all these other things. And then reporters have asked Elizabeth Moss, what about your relationship with this girl? And she goes, who? And they say her name again. They're like, I don't know who that is. And Elizabeth Moss literally has been ordered to pretend that she never knew the girl, even though it is a fact that she did.
Cult to me. That's
yeah,
cool life right there.
I mean, that's scary. That's some scary stuff. Doing good through deception ain't good. I agree. I agree.
Exactly, and I completely agree with that. Leah Remini, wasn't she an actress?
Yeah, she's an actress too, and and they have to all. She's basically shunned by them to the point where they have to pretend she doesn't exist. I wonder if she walks into a room, do they have to pretend she's invisible?
So there are numbers. The numbers are small, but they don't have a lot of money because Satanists tend to be normal people. There were 191 jackets that were given out to the homeless.
91.
There were now that right there, sir.
191 jackets, and I'm supposed to excuse them for worshiping the Dark Lord. Oh God.
So basically, any good that these people have done,
191.
I'm sorry. Any good that these
that's
people
like a
have
school
done,
jacket drive.
Okay, but you're also sitting here and saying this is one church in 2017, Warmer Than Hell, a clothing collection organized for
Warmer Than Hell.
Funny. By Boston Satanic Temple chapter. So this was Boston's Satanic Temple chapter, and they decided to provide 191 coats, sweatshirts, and jackets, hats, and gloves to the homeless.
But how many babies did they sacrifice that evening? Yo, Lainey, I'm sorry, you just take it so seriously. I'm just saying, like, you defend it worse than I defend Christianity, and I'm a Christian, but you're not a Satanist.
I'm not.
I'm not. To me, why you're so like?
Because I think that what you just said was very, it was wrong. you want to sit there and you want numbers, right? So I gave you numbers, but they're too small. So these people are still
pathetic. 191. I could give away 191 jackets like in my sleep. Oh my God. I don't think they trying hard.
I think that is a bad mentality to have. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think that's very Christian of you, Mantis.
Demon says, by the way, one of my Satanist friends says hates to go, but it was nice seeing you, Lainey. So remember, Demon Omega has a Satanist friend who wants to talk to you. But they have to go. Demon, good to see you.
Demon,
tell your friends bye. I'm sorry if I offended anybody with my my scathing indictment of the Church of Satan.
Scathing. It's okay though.
Logie says, what religion is Shyamalan? Whichever that is, it's the evil one. Wow, says Pubs. Nigel says, well, to be fair, a lot of complaints about Satanism can be said about Christianity too. And I'm a Christian. Like, even up to who we worship. Yo, I'm going to tell you, like I said, the only thing I could say to Lainey when she was telling her personal story there is I'm sorry you had that experience. There are a lot of horrible things happen in all organized religions, and I'm not excusing them. I think it should be weeded out and it should be stopped. And it's not fair. These mini cults that spread up that they're like, we're Christian, but they indoctrinate you into a cult. That's evil shit too. Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I'm saying, within the Church of Satan, there are just as many. Well, maybe, you know what? I'm not going to state that because we don't have numbers. But there are reports of ones that are rinky dink, and they literally are just hardcore libertarians who are like, yeah, we should be able to do what we want, man. Live life free. And like, that's how their chapter readings are. And then there are other ones who are like, praise Satan. And they're wearing black robes and stuff. And so, and if people are like, that's not like that. There are pictures of Anton LaVey literally worshiping Satans. They actually have footage of him doing it, of like doing ceremonies like that. But he would later on be like, well, I don't really believe in Satan. Is it possible he was a con man? It's
very possible he was a con man. But, we've had many other religious con men as well.
Oh, I opened the doors. Oh, she's gonna attack Jesus any minute.
No, I said other religions. I agree, Lainey, but for a different reason. I don't remember what I said, but thank you, Logie. You should totally give away 101. Listen, it was a lot of money. I mean, for a small organization.
So here's what I'm saying. My loud mouth has gotten me into a lot of trouble. Like, for instance, November 1st, I still haven't forgotten what video I have to make for you guys.
That's right. You also, you don't forget you owe me money.
I do. I owe you $5 because he wasn't sore on. And then also for Public Friend, I have to do the pole dancing. And by the way, we're going to stream on November 1st. But the actual recording of the performance is going to be recorded because where my pole is, where the pole is going to be, there's not going to be any Wi-Fi. So I can't do it live. I can't do a live stream, but I will do it I'll do it I'll do it the weekend before the 1st.
So you've actually been doing classes.
I've been practicing. Let me put it like that. I've been practicing. I'm going to give you all a show. I'm going to give you a show. So I have to pole dance. I owe you $5. I want to say I'm going to give away 191 jackets, but I don't want to get in trouble and not be able to hit that number. But I feel like my house is filled with a lot of old jackets. Like, I feel like I might be able to hit.
They bought these jackets, sir. They bought them. I'm just going to put that.
Oh, they're new jackets?
They were new jackets. Westboro is objectively not Christian.
Oh, Westboro, the Westboro don't use the word Baptist church, right? No, those guys are. You know what they do, right? You know who those guys are, right? Those are the guys who protest the funerals of soldiers and say your child died because America isn't heeding the word of Jesus.
That's terrible. That is really terrible.
Fat Mantis, the baby sacrificing keeps the skin moist. Don't judge it till you stab it with a, I don't know that word. Misrecord? Is that some sort of fancy blade? That's got to be some medieval blade. $100, baby. Oh, and boy, do I need it. And Spiritual Life says, I think Joel Osteen is a con artist. Do you have any thoughts about him, Lainey?
No, I have no more thoughts. I am like, I feel like I'm argued out, to be completely honest.
Public says I'm going to be $100 richer.
Oh, come on, Pubs. I think Mantis is going to do a great job.
I'm going to do a great performance,
Westbrook. Thank you. Okay.
Westbrook promised me a burrito. Liars.
They're the God Hates Fakes group. Gotcha.
That was my church. Together as possible.
That was totally my church.
What? What was your church?
My church basically thought that, like, if you didn't go to church on Sundays, religiously, see what I did there? That you weren't a real Christian.
Here's the thing. I can neither attack nor defend Joel Osteen because I'm going to be honest. I have never heard a sermon from him, and I've never read one of his books. And so other than that, I do not know what he stands for. I cannot say whether he's good or bad. I watched that show, what is it? The Righteous Gemstones. I assume they're making fun of Joel Osteen. I assume that's the Joel Osteen joke.
I'm not really familiar with Joel Osteen either, to be honest with you.
You know that show I'm talking about, right? Mm-mm. It's on HBO. It's really funny. It's hysterical. It's John Goodman is a mega church pastor, and his idiot sons are pastors as well, but they're filthy rich. But they think they're super Christian. They're like, we're super Christian, but they have all these jets and all these fancy cars and like mansions, and it makes fun of people like Joel Osteen who are making like a fortune off of Christianity,
off of being a good Christian. Yeah. An absolute
he said turd waffle.
Instrument of mercy for sacrificing it was on the Crow. Oh, the Crow.
Oh, okay. I should watch that considering those movies take place around Halloween, right?
I love the Crow. They're actually thinking about redoing them. Fun fact. We'll just have to fucking see. Yeah, I know. I think it's going to be a great show. I'm just saying.
It's going to be amazing. Osteen, Hannah, Copeland, Furtick are all nonsense. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch televangelists. Like if I miss church, nowadays it's easy because my church they put the whole proceedings on YouTube, but Even if I didn't have that, I wouldn't like be like, I miss church. Let me put on a televangelist. I don't know who goes to televangelist. Like who wakes up in the Sunday morning and is like, I'm going to look for a televangelist, because they always look so silly, you know. Although I think I could do that job. I think it'd be good.
Oh my God, you probably could, but you know, no, because you don't want to be sucked into these names. Yay! I love to hate Joel Osteen.
Olsen is very close to the Righteous Gemstones. Actually, Lainey, you'd love the Righteous Gemstones because it makes fun of Christians. It's one ongoing joke about Christians.
I'll put it on the list, Mantis.
But
the very long list.
It's at least good spirited, where even I will laugh. And so one of the funniest lines I got to say is that, they don't believe in works, in doing charity. And the son's mad at the dad, and he leaves the church and he goes to Haiti and he starts volunteering, and he's digging ditches, and they're trying to build a well. And his father has to bring him back home. And his father shows up and he looks at him and he says, son, you come out of that ditch and you let these Catholics and these liberals give these Haitians back their water. Because no son of his is going to be doing dirty charity. It's pretty funny. I don't
yeah. Same. No, I'm good with that. I'm good. Nice.
By the way, Joe is streaming on Polka Channel. Oh wow.
Fun. Mega churches tend to be weak biblically. Yeah, I mean they're all there. They're there for the money. Those are definitely the kind of Christians I don't like.
But you know what actually does look fun though about mega churches? All the songs and the joy. Like people are dancing in the aisles and they're like, yeah, and they're just having so much fun. There's like a praise band, and like I feel like that looks like fun.
Sure.
The reason why I wouldn't have such a problem with it is because like my own church is weak biblically. My pastor is like, she's not an A+ pastor.
Okay. Well, that's interesting too. But I do miss my pastor. I have to say he was probably the only good thing that came out of that church was my pastor.
Really?
Yeah, Pastor Noodle. I didn't know how to say his name. It was Pastor Knowles, and I called him Pastor Noodle.
Pastor Noodle.
Pastor Noodle. Yeah.
Prosperity-based gospel churches like Joel. Oh, okay. Prosperity. Yeah. I think Lainey would be a very good televangelist. You'd be freaking great. If you took the same energy you took bashing me tonight, and you directed it into the gospel, oh my God!
I didn't bash you. I just, we did what we came here to do. We debated, and I don't think either of us won. And I think that we knew that was going to happen. Our ideals are very different, and that's okay. We can still be friends at the end of the day, and that's all that matters.
Of course. It makes fun of prosperity, megachurch Christianity, not Christianity at all overall. Yeah, that's why I'm able to laugh at it. Like I'm laughing at all the shenanigans that they do.
No, I want to see them make fun of it overall. So
you would find it funny because it's just
Okay. All right. They teach a bin-centered, wealth, health-based gospel, which is completely
antithetical to the true gospel.
Thank you. I can't read. I'm like, where are my glasses? They teach me in center health and wealth. There we go.
Yeah, I figured that about your pastor, Mantis. Logie. OC teaches essentially that if you pray enough and give enough money to the church, God will give you your heart's desire and shower you with wealth. Yes, absolutely. Which is that it's unhealthy and messed up to believe in.
Well,
I think we had a pretty intense debate this evening.
Yeah, this was probably one of our most intense debates, but I very much enjoyed it. No, guys, I am not a Satanist. I have never claimed the church. But yeah, honestly, I think I would join just to see what they really were about. So maybe next time I come on here, I'll be like, yeah, guys, I joined the Satanic Church.
Look, guys, I did the opposite. I pushed her into the arms of Satan.
It's for research purposes only, guys. It's for research purposes only.
It looks like Lainey might like the Book of Dust or the Golden Or the Golden Compass. Yes, I don't know the Book of Dust, but we know the gold. We know the gold.
I know the Golden Compass. Yeah, but wait. Hold on. I'm going to screenshot this because I actually am starting to read again, which is fun. But it's also taking me away from the television, which is great, but not great at the same time due to, of course, Mantis' YouTube. Like, you're spoiling everything for me.
Well, you could just do what, if you really love Mantis, but you don't want to get spoiled, just turn it on, turn down the volume, and after 2 minutes of that, hit like, and then be out.
Well, what fun's that? What fun's that?
Yeah, I feel it.
Know?
I mean, I am such a good, I'm so good at explaining things. It's
Absolutely.
good to hear you talk, right?
Absolutely.
Menstruating with Satan. Those are words.
That was a word. What?
I'm looking at the Lithuanian website right now.
Oh.
And it was they show an ad for a thing.
Well, hey, somebody's got it. Somebody's got to help those menstruating homeless women.
I suppose. So wait, Ellen, you saw American Horror Story season 9, Apocalypse?
I sure did.
Did it offend you? The way it portrayed Satanists. As a matter of fact, Anton LaVey shows up to bless the Antichrist in it.
No, I'm not offended by anything that a TV show. Why would I be offended? First of all, like I said, I'm not a Satanist. Second of all, you do you, baby boo. It's just a story. It's a no. Menstruating with Satan. Thank you. That is actually really funny. No, it did not offend me. But I'm not a Satanist, so it might have offended a real Satanist. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh no, they made a public statement after that, and they said
they were pissed off at Sabrina too. The new Sabrina, they were pissed about Sabrina. I'm like, that was a great show. I actually really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I was pissed that they canceled it. I'm like, no, wow.
You can reading is for turd garglers, says Logan. Pub says you can't gargle poop, Logie. Logie says, I beg to differ, Pubs. So you see, the conversation here has devolved to this sort of madness and shenanigans.
It sure has.
But I am happy that we agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree, 100%.
I hope I can save you from Satan.
I'm not savable.
Because basically, even if I can't turn you into a Christian, I hope to get you at least into purgatory and not into hell. Because if you're in hell, there's nothing I can do. But purgatory, did you have any final thoughts on Satanism, or did you want to slam me with anything else?
I don't want to slam you with anything else, but thank you guys so much for being here tonight. This was a fun chat. Satanism.
This was a fun chat.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy making you flustered. It did.
I'm glad that you enjoyed that, because there were a few points where I wanted to reach through the screen and possibly punch you in the face.
Just to see what y'all have done. No, I had an amazing time, guys. My advice to you: don't join the Church of Satan. There's only empty lies there. But this is the Fat Mantis reminding you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, keep tuning into Mothership Mondays every Monday at 6:15-ish p.m. Eastern.
Don't forget the ish.
Yeah, and come check us out. This Wednesday, obviously, I'm going to be doing brunch again. I'm back in the game. First, I'll see you guys in the morning, and then Wednesday evening, we will be having a Rogue Planet with Derek Music HD. We're going to be talking about the anime Spy Family. We'll talk about all things anime on Rogue Planet. It's going to be a good time. And then tonight, of course, me and Rebuke will be doing a Fanboy Modeling School, and that is over on Fight Juice Online. Remember to subscribe to that. But anyway, ciao for now, bitches.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I